This is the greatest female fighter who went 54-0 against women. Then she decided to step in the ring with a man. Let's take a look at how that played out.
Yeah, she's the female boxer who was really the best in the world. Nobody wanted to fight Lucia Riker. She was sparring with guys. She was probably the best female boxer ever. And nobody knows who the hell she is.
Widely regarded as the greatest female boxer of all time, Lucia was undefeated in all her 54 fights with women. In kickboxing, she had 37 fights and 4 world titles. Most of her fights were won by knockout. In boxing, she had 17 fights with 2 world titles. 14 of her fights were by knockout. But what happened when she fought against a man? Fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Striking Breakdowns. In this episode, we explore how the best female fighter was defeated by a male fighter.
Keep in mind, she is the greatest female fighter going against an amateur male fighter.
Her opponent was Somchai JD, an amateur fighter in Australia. He had a total of 14 fights and was a local amateur champion. The first round was closely contested, but Somchai landed the cleaner power shots. He even knocked Lucia's head back with a big cross. The Thai also swept Lucia multiple times, once with a teep, another with a roundhouse, and then once inside the clinch. Somchai didn't look like he had better technique, but he was clearly faster and more powerful. Lucia was also able to sweep Somchai once, and for most of the round, she was the one pressing forward with aggression. Overall, Somchai covered the long range much more effectively than Lucia. This was important for him to be a sniper, allowing him to land clean shots without a response. It's obvious here that it wasn't the technique that made the difference, it was the power and speed.
It was biology that made the difference. As we can see, despite her having much more experience and better technique, it still didn't help her, as he was simply faster and stronger.
In the second round, it was clear that Lucia wanted to overwhelm her opponent and tried to steamroll him. She was able to put Somchai onto the ropes and start swinging. After landing several big punches, she had her opponent cornered. But that's when he started swinging back, landing a left and right hook with an uppercut that sealed the knockout. The fight was immediately called off, and the trainer came in to cradle Lucia. It was a courageous showing by the best female fighter of all time.
Hey, excuse me?
Hello.
Do you think men are stronger than women?
No, I don't think so. They're physically built different.
So do you think men are physically stronger than women?
No, not necessarily. I think women can be way stronger than men.
Do you think people would agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Hey, excuse me?
Hey, what's going on?
So this girl said that she does not think men are stronger than women. What do you think about that?
It's false.
Why?
On average, men are going to be stronger than women 80% of the time.
Do you think people would agree with that?
Definitely.
Hey, excuse me?
Yes.
So this guy said that he thinks men are stronger than women. What do you think about that?
Physically stronger?
Just in general.
I would say that's probably a little bit misinformed.
Well, what do you think?
No.
Why not? Why are women stronger than men?
Did I say that?
Oh,
I don't think you can make a sweeping judgment like that on any two groups.
do you think people would agree with that?
Some people, maybe not that guy.
No rational person would agree with you. Denying the facts won't make your opinion true.
Cheated before.
Not with another human.
What do you mean?
I cheated on my boyfriend with his dog.
Girl, what in the hell was you Scooby doing? Bro can't trust you in the streets. He can't even trust you at PetSmart. Don't know what type of toys you bringing back. That dog said, I'm gonna show you the dog pound. Tripping. And let me ask you something. Is it true y'all smell like wet dog because of this? Very good.
Third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. So my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking, we like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
I'm seeing more and more of these videos, and honestly, it makes me sad because guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away. And we're walking away in droves, and it's only going to get worse because you're not hearing why we're walking away. It's very simple. Don't read between the lines. Hear these words. There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. Especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward. Roughly 55% of marriages end in divorce and the guy loses everything. Add into it all the relationships where they weren't married and the guy lost access to his kids and had to pay mountains of child support and so on. When you really look at it, there's less than a 1 in 4 chance of having a successful relationship. Would you risk everything you have? Would you risk your children and having access to them, knowing you only had a 25% chance of success? I doubt it. Add to it the expectations that today's women have are beyond absurd. We all joke about the sixes, but the reality is that is most women's expectation. You expect men to give, and offer nothing in return. I'm not saying any of this to be mean, but I am being blunt in hopes you'll hear it. Because we've said it over and over and over again. And yet, you're still asking us, why are you walking away? That, in a nutshell, is the crux of the problem. You ask us, but you don't want to hear the response. And if you hear it, you don't want to accept it. My honest advice to you ladies is this. Get a mirror, look in it, and ask yourself, what are we offering to men? Why should men want to be with us? And if your answer is things like you have a great career or job, or that you're going to cook and clean, none of that matters to us. Not in the least. What matters to us? Peace, loyalty, and acknowledgement. Something very, very few women give to their man. And until you're willing to give that, until you're willing to set aside your ridiculous expectations, those numbers you mentioned are only going to get worse.
I'm confused about two beautiful women.
And what exactly could have these two beautiful women confused?
Can't even get talked to.
Let's consider the possibilities. The first being that a lot of guys probably already assume that one is probably in a relationship, so it's not worth their time to bother. The second is that a lot of attractive women have put out there that unless a guy is up to their standards, they're not even going to consider him. So if a guy isn't certain that he's going to meet those high standards, then he's not going to try. Also, a lot of guys are tired of having their hearts broken, of being rejected, and they're just not wanting to have a relationship, so that's another reason. But I think the biggest reason is what a lot of women have put out there themselves on social media, is that they want men to leave them alone. They'd rather choose the bear, and that they don't need men at all. And the men have been hearing this. They've been listening. And so, unfortunately for those women that do want to be approached by men, a lot of other women have actually put a stop to that. So if one is wondering why men don't approach women anymore, I think one knows where to lay the blame.
If you enjoyed this video, I promise you'll enjoy this next video. I will see you there.